What is up, Shark Nation? We are back for another episode of the SharkPod. We've got our guest here today, Eric Morera from Barcelona. He's actually a Hubspot partner out there. He runs a Hubspot agency, for want of a better word, a partner that helps our customers out there set up HubSpot and run it really effectively. How are you doing, Eric?
Very well, very well. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And we've got Mark here as usual. How are you doing, Mark?
Good, yeah. It's a lovely stormy day in Dublin.
Stormy day in Dublin, yeah. Really
yeah, good to have you here, Eric. What's the weather like over in Spain?
We're just about 32 degrees.
Nice.
It's in the afternoon.
Probably too hot. Probably too hot, though, is it?
Yeah, probably too hot. Definitely.
He's just saying that for our benefit here. But yeah, so Mark, just before we kick into the interview today, you know what? I got a bit of feedback over our email. You can reach us at luke@shark.ie. I got the feedback that SharkNation, there's this thing in America called Fox Nation.
Okay.
That kind of, it's a Fox News type community over there. And they were wondering, was that part of the shtick of that?
Right. Are we right-wing Trump supporters?
Yeah. So
no.
Yeah, we're just putting it out there that that's not what we represent here. Although it is a funny thing to watch sometimes, and I find myself watching Fox News clips more than I probably should. But anyway, moving right along, there's something that the listeners should know about Eric as well. Eric is actually was the first ever podcast guest that we had before we were actually a proper podcast, when this idea was just in its infancy. I think it was back in December. When were you guys in Dublin, Eric?
Yeah, it was starting the month of December, like the 5th or 6th of December, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And I was like, this would be cool to do a podcast. We did an awful version with 3 people in a room with 3 open Zoom links. And the echoing was absolutely unusable. But we did learn some interesting stuff, and we'll dig into that today as well. One more thing that the listeners have to know about Eric is that Eric was a Spanish student here in Ireland.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I spent I think 3 weeks in a little town called Moat.
Moat. It's somewhere in the Midlands, or do you remember what the county was? I don't even know where that is.
It was West Dublin, maybe 1 hour or 2 hour drive. I don't know. I was like 40 years old.
Okay, because the people of Ireland, we've got this kind of especially the people around Dublin, especially people around let's say working class areas. Mark would say Spanish students was part of our summer life. It was this thing when we were growing up, because Spanish students would come in and there'd be so many of them, because it was kind of, I guess, a little side hustle for some families to have students come stay with them. Very traditional. Like there'd be hundreds of Spanish people around. So every summer when you're like a teenager, there's all these Spanish people that are coming in. We're playing football with them. We're not doing very well a lot of the time. But I remember when you got to Ireland like that, what was the biggest differences when you were 14? Was it like just a strange place when you arrived here? Did you think these people can't play football? What was your initial thoughts?
It was the first time I left home, so it was strange to me, like seeing how the living was different, no? Because I came from Barcelona city, used to apartments, and here you live in the outside way. I was living in a small town and living in
it's Westmead is where it is, Luke. I Googled it.
Probably there.
Start.
Yeah. So everything for me was new. I mean, the people, the houses, the green fields. So everything was new, and basically the first impression I had is like, I must learn English, otherwise I won't have things to eat or to share with people there,
I think you're touching on our lack of international languages that we like to have here. We're not great at that, especially maybe in the Midlands when they've got some other things on their minds. But it was
We're
interesting.
not also, Luke, we're also not very good at clear English speaking. So that can be a struggle for Spanish students trying to learn English.
I never even thought about that. So sometimes, Eric, we speak very quickly. So was that an issue as well when you were in Westmeath? Did you understand them very easily, or was it difficult?
I had an academy English, very basic English, but I didn't find any problem with the accents or so far. It was the first native accent I've heard so far, so I think it was natural to me,
Okay, fair enough. And you also mentioned that you couldn't believe that we were all playing football on grass all the time because, in Barcelona, that's not the case.
I used to play in sand, with the bleeding knees, and it was luxury playing in grass. Yes.
So
Maybe
Mark,
that's where we're going wrong. We're playing in grass. We should be playing in sand.
I don't know what the problem is. It's a tough one out there for.
We try so hard.
We try. Do you know it's our most played game, which is a disappointing thing. Although, like Barcelona has 6 million people or something.
Yeah, Barcelona is 3 million.
Oh, 3 million. Okay, cool. So in Ireland, we've only got 4 altogether, but we're still poor at football. Anyway, so the reason why we're having onto the SharkPod as well is we like to talk about the starting business and stuff like that. I know as the CEO of Foxter.io, you're helping customers with their marketing, with their sales setups, with Hubspot. But what was the first kind of enterprise that you started there?
Okay, which is a retail.
Oh no. That's the HubSpot. I mean, you personally, I remember you told me that you started a business years and years ago that was vending machines.
Yes. I started, firstly on a family business, but then I decided to create my own business, which was, business for healthy vending machines, which we serve healthy products through vending machines, which by 2008 or 2009, it was pretty revolutionary. Okay. So we were competing against Kit Kats and Coca-Colas with smoothies and fresh cut.
Okay. And how does that really work with the vending machines if it's going to be fresh food and stuff like that? Are you putting that in yourself every day, going around having to take out the old stuff and put in the new stuff, or? Yeah,
basically, we had to buy everything, store it, and then distribute it through we had around 20 to 25 vending machines. And it was a tough day, starting from the very, very beginning of the morning, ending very late in the evening. So, with the van and driving from place to place, it was tough.
And when you're selling that, so the vending machines business is really interesting to me, Mark. I think I told you about this before. When I was a little boy, when I was maybe 6 years old, my dad had a couple of vending machines in Canada.
I didn't know that.
Did you not? Did I never tell you that?
No.
So this is one of the very earliest memories I have with Dad. And I was going around and we were going around and he was collecting the money out of the vending machines. It wasn't healthy stuff. It was the Kit Kats and the Coke that Eric was fighting against. But he would go around and he would collect that. And I remember him turning to me and going, because at the time he had a couple of car dealerships, a leasing company. He was very busy, let's say. But he turned to me and goes, I don't know why I do anything else. Because he just got this bag full of dollar coins, and he's like, I didn't do anything for this. He had
really?
some young lad going around putting in the Kit Kats that he paid, not that much. And he's like,
it's a good business. It's a good business, but for Cokes, coffee and Kit Kats, because you get a lot of margin mainly from coffee. Maybe the cost of a coffee is 7 cents and you're selling it for 40 cents or 35 cents. So there's a good margin there and a lot of rotation. So people drink 1, 2, 3 coffees a day per day. But our product was different. Our product was a premium product, more expensive. It also has this, could last around 7 days in the vending machine. So if we didn't sell it, we had to eat it ourselves.
Van loads of healthy stuff. I like it. And so, what was the target market? Was it kind of young professionals, or did you put them kind of in gyms? Where were they located?
Our goal was to place the machine in the bigger companies in Barcelona, the bigger offices. We started also to place the machine in student residences, also into hostels, but it didn't went really well. So we realized that the biggest offices were our main customers, and the customers we were taking profit from.
Absolutely. And so I love these types of business. And I know that this one was maybe a little bit more difficult, but I know you're trying to be different with the healthy stuff. But me and a guy called Emil Dukowski, if he's listening out there in Canada, we once had we used to call him Dick House, Mark. I think I mentioned him before. Great guy. He worked with me in Paypharma. We were going to start a business in Canada. It's hard to really, for our Irish listeners, this won't really make that much sense, but in Canada, there's ATMs are run by companies a lot of the time, not just banks. So we were going to open an ATM business where we would put ATMs where there is a lot of, footfall outside stadiums, that type of stuff, that there was no banks around, that type of stuff. Anyway, my point is we looked into it and there was no way of like leasing, or there's no way of coming up with like a rental agreement for these ATMs. You had to buy them and they were like 50 grand each. Do you like it away? So we kind of scrapped that idea because we didn't have any money. But with vending machines, how does that business work? Do you rent the machines, or is there like a leasing agreement, or do you just buy them like secondhand when you're getting going? How does that work?
A big problem, because you had to buy them and then get maybe a leasing from the bank, but basically you have to pay for them. Yeah.
I just had this vision of me and Mark basically leasing leasing these things and just driving all around over Westmeath, putting them everywhere, stuff
You
like
know what business is similar enough probably to that type of thing is that always fascinates me is the ones with all the toys in it, those machines with the claw and the toys. Yes. And it's rigged so that you win, so it's kind of free money. So I just think I'd love to know more about that business.
Free money for the owner of the machine. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I wonder how much money they make.
I don't know. Like
they make about 10 quid a week from my wife and children. Anyway.
Do they have them in Barcelona, Eric? Those those kind of.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah, the hand thing, and the kids love to play it. I think I like that idea though, Mark. We might have to put some hustle behind that and just put them outside beside like bus stops. Or, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so with that business, how long were you working that kind of angle for, Eric?
For 3 years. For 3 years. Then I because we moved from the vending machines, we sold all the machines we had because we started moving on towards the coffee business, where we see the margin. And fortunately, we were lucky enough to sell all our machines and all our vending business to a bigger vending company. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, but we decided to keep on with our mission, which was trying to bring closer the healthy food to the people, mainly in the offices. So we start to deliver fruit baskets to offices like World Fruit, and also delivering their personal shopping, but based only on fruits. Okay.
Okay. And was there more of a demand for that type of business because it was more like they have to buy it in bulk? They don't have to make a decision on buying that when they're hungry. It's kind of like it delivers to them, and
there was a
subscription. Is it like?
Yeah, there was a subscription for the fruit baskets, and that was really easy business. No barriers at all, and we had a pretty good margin there. But then we realized that there were not barriers at all for this business. I mean, anyone could fit in, because just buying the fruit and selling it and distributed. It was really a simple business. And we tried to cross-sell with our e-commerce to the employees of the companies we were delivering the baskets, and trying to make cross promotions and discounts, basically discounts for the employees, blah, blah. But yeah, it was a lot of work. And I went like nuts with digital, you know. I really like this. This is where I built the e-commerce myself. I was building I was the buying digital advertising and so on. So then I started to study digital marketing and e-commerce through a master degree, and I started looking for a new job.
Okay, so that was the kind of transition to the kind of more digital stuff that you've been made a career out of, right?
Yeah, we kept the business for two more years. There was only one person delivering the food to the offices, and that was it. And yeah, when we started to lose control over the customers, the person who was in charge of delivering the fruit took all the business.
Oh, really? He just said, we're going to do this myself. He cut you guys out.
Yeah, he was in charge of everything, you know, and we were on other stuff, you know. But yeah, this guy was not very honest, but he really deserved it.
Okay, well, I hope I hope that didn't work out for him in the end. But when you went into, so that you went into kind of the,
not having a good time for sure.
Yeah, now he's definitely not having a good time. That's for sure. And so when you're going into the more digital side of things, you went then from the kind of entrepreneurship stuff that you're doing for, I guess, 5 years at that stage, and then you go into more internal, working for a company. What was that like? Did that kind of, was that like a load off? Did you kind of enjoy it for a while, or?
Yeah, it was my dream job. I started there as a product manager for Dorna. Dorna is the company that manages the World Championship, the MotoGP World Championship, and World SBK. And I started there. We were only three people on the marketing sales department for digital products. So there I really understood the volumes of the digital and how to understand how the people were behaving and the behavior of the people, the demands, how advertising works, digital products works, the digital development works, you know. So all parts of digital, and also related to sports. Is what I learned a lot from there, you know.
Yeah. And then at what stage do you get the idea then to say, this is what I want to do? I want to start my own CRM / marketing technology boutique company. When does that happen?
Well, actually, I've been there for 8 years, and the last couple of years, I really had a really big project going on, and really happy with it, and managing a team of 9 to 10 people. So really happy with what I was doing, but I really finding difficulties to keep learning, you know, and keep growing myself. Also, I didn't see the chance that to grow my career inside that company. It is a family business by the end, and Dorna is a family business. So I decided that with my knowledge and my age, it was the time to move on and to start by my own. And the idea is to leverage my understanding of digital in different sectors, industries. Okay, because I was very focused into sports. I knew a lot about retail already, but since there's now 1 year that I'm working at Foxter, and I have been able to see a lot of different industries, how they work with digital, how to relate with customers, and this is I'm learning a lot. I'm really happy with it, you know, with the experience so far.
I love this part of the story because, Mark, this is it's something that, like, there's a lot of HubSpot partners out there all over the world. I think there's 3,000 partners. So a lot of them are based almost entirely on being marketing agencies. So, those type of agencies where, and obviously they do a great job for what they're intending to do, but they're ones that are based on building campaigns. The creative, we talked about this before, the bits of creative for advertising, that type of thing. They charge for kind of like retainers to do that. But the next wave of partners in HubSpot, and I think generally, is the more technical partners, because it's like building the plumbing of the business, right? It's putting in the machinery in the background. I think there's a lot more long-term value that you can do doing that than just the kind of top layer. Pay me for 2 months, I'll do a marketing campaign. If you turn off the tap, there's no more services. That type of business. I think it's way more, long-term value into what the guys in Foxter and a lot of my partners are doing as well. So when you get started, what was the first thing that you guys did? Was it to like align with someone like find what you're going to be basing your services on, either HubSpot or Twilio, or there's a million things that you guys could have done from a digital space. Like, what drove you to the kind of CRM stuff?
Yeah, as we were a newly created company, but we inherited business from another company. Okay, what was stepping off the business. So we took all the customers, we took their employees as well, and our main goal was firstly to keep the customers happy that we were working with the previous company. Okay, so that was our main goal. Okay, so keep the recurring business going on while we were building new partnerships with Hubspot, also Salesforce, these two main technologies, and also the previous partnership that we had with Sugar CRM. Okay, we knew that this was not going to last very long, neither the customers. So the idea was to try to balance all the business to the new technologies we were partnering with. Okay, and that was our mission was first of all establish keep the income going, and secondly try to gain time, moving towards the other technologies.
It's really interesting because I often think about this when I speak to people internally in HubSpot. We want the best partners. We want the people that are the most kind of bought in and who can make a living working with HubSpot. So I look at a lot of the other partnership stuff, whether that's with, I don't know, like there's a million companies out there that you could partner with. So we have to be kind of we're competing for attention on HubSpot. Do you know what I mean? With our partners, we've got to make sure that it's working very well for them. So it's interesting to me to hear when you first start a business. I spoke to somebody the other day who isn't a HubSpot partner, but they are a reseller of Google technologies.
Yeah.
So when they started their company, they're thinking, okay, are we going to be a reseller for Google and do the cloud platform there, or are we going to do Amazon Web Services, and which type of shop? And they're kind of just shopping around to see which business plan would kind of give them the best return. So it's very interesting for me personally. But Mark, what's I know that you're a finance a recruitment, but have you ever? Is there any partnerships or anything in your industry, or that type of, is business development a big thing in recruiting? I never really asked you that.
In business development, in recruiting is probably a little bit antiquated in Dublin. Like, it's who you know, and you're kind of speaking to your direct contacts and their contacts, and your brother's friends, wife, and all that kind of stuff. You can actually build quite a big business based on who you know. So we kind of want to put that on steroids. So it's like, it's all the same. It is that kind of personal approach, but how do you actually put that into an automated process where you can find out what jobs are going out there, who's working where, and there is a technology that does that, and we're actually looking at a bit of that at the moment, a couple of companies. But yeah, I think it could be definitely improved. I think tech is like recruitment, tech and recruitment can be used a lot better, put it that way. I think it's still behind the curve a little bit. It's because it's the personal approach is so important. How do you mix that with a tech platform to, you know, to increase kind of business development and leads and stuff like that? It's very hard. When I get a cold email to do with recruitment, you know, I kind of ignore it.
Funny. The cold emailing, I think it's like I know like HubSpot's all about the inbound marketing, stuff like that. We do a lot of outbound stuff, activities as well, especially for like target accounts, stuff like that. But I've got my mailbox. I'm not a decision maker in HubSpot, let's say. I'm not doing the buying, but you wouldn't believe that if you saw my inbox. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of poor prospecting going on. Sometimes I'll send them a little video that I make, and then I'll look at my LinkedIn and I'll be like, "What makes you think that I have any money to spend on this enterprise software for HubSpot?" Do you know? Just to kind of point them in the right direction. Not that I have that much time to do that all the time. But yeah, so Eric, what do you think with your business now? Like you said, it's kind of up and running a year. You've kind of made your bets on the software you guys are going to specialize in. How big do you want to get? What is the plan? Is it total domination where it's going to be 100 salespeople riding the phones every day, pumping out like as much deals as possible, or is it going to be kind of a more kind of a niche business? How do you think about the business?
Well, in fact, we have been thinking for this the last months. Looking at the figures, what customers are we receiving? What's our lines of income, so to say. Is it more services? Is it more licenses? Should we focus on selling the software or the services? Should we try to do both? It really depends, because if you want to focus on selling licenses, you have to build a sales team. If you want to build a sales service, you have to build a marketing team, or team that
as well
boards customers. But you need to sell the licenses anyway. Okay, so our idea is to start little by little, start building a sales team, a proper sales team, and from there, I'm sure we will leverage the services as well, and try to build retainers from there. But yeah, actually, we don't want to become like a huge agency. We want to keep the customer really close. I had a lot of experiences with agencies myself, and when you start to realize that the seniorship is not on your account, you feel a bit unengaged with the agency. So I don't want my customers to feel that way,
Yes. Okay. Because it is something that people have to kind of make a decision on. For instance, in Mark's line of work in recruitment, I've been me and Mark have joked about some other recruitment firms that we've interacted with along the way in Dublin, and how non-personal it is, how you feel like you're just another, even though you are the customer in a certain way, you just feel like another cog or another,
Yeah.
It's not very personalized. So that's very interesting as well. I think it's hard to know which way to go, because I've got a lens that other people don't, because I see partners from this side as well. So there's kind of like a information wall between what my partners see and what I know. Do you know that way? I've got a lot more data. So there is what I've found with partners is there's not one way to do it. For instance, I've got a partner who is just, their whole obsession is just licenses, and then they'll figure out the rest later. So they try to expand into accounts as much as they can. So they've got 2,000 customers or something, and then they have a whole sales team that are just trying to sell different things into that customer base, and it works really well. So say if you're selling HubSpot to somebody, they might need Amazon cloud services as well. So they'll have a really strong cross sell on that. But it's a different feel to working with Foxter, who are really outcome oriented with the customer. Do you know? So like I said, There's no one way.
How do you guys differentiate yourself from your kind of closest competitors?
Well, the first point of differentiation it's about the approach, our approach, because our approach is not about making you using the technology. Is about how to say facilitate your ideas. I mean, if you want to achieve your goals, what technologies do you need in order to reach them? Okay, so and then that's our specialty. Okay, and then we make everything work. This technology, the CRM integrated with the push notification service, or an external analytics tool. Okay, and we make this work. We make the marketing technology stack work, and then we let the customer decide. Also, we always try to sell the retainers with services and everything, but it's not our focus. Our focus is to make implementation and assess into the technical part of the marketing stack.
And what kind of companies would your main clients be? Are they all different type of industries or different sizes?
The different sizes and industries. Mainly, we have a mid-market size, but we are working with retail, engineering companies, education. Also, now we have interesting e-commerce as well working with us. They are trying to move on, because mostly the mid-size e-commerce just had a random e-commerce platform and just selling online, and now they understood that selling online is more about the experience and more about the relationship rather than the transaction. Okay, so what we're trying to help there is to let them know what are the technologies available in order to leverage both customer experience and relationship.
It's Mark, it's really interesting because what you're saying there about the types of customers, there's a big difference that I noticed working with partners versus working just directly selling in HubSpot. When you're selling in HubSpot, every problem looks like a HubSpot solution. Everything. There's whatever the issue is, because it's not like direct sales reps like I was, and there's no other option. I have to sell them HubSpot. So I'll do workarounds and stuff like that. But with partners, a lot of the time, not all the time, direct, we do obviously a lot of direct sales as well, but some of the times they can have an outsider's perspective on a problem, right? So that's why I'm trying to get my partners to work with direct reps a lot on deals, because we're trying to get them to say, okay, if they need a certain type of analytics that we can provide, maybe we can sell them HubSpot and something else that integrates with that. And when you're selling something directly, it's very difficult to see. You don't want to complicate a deal, but with partners, you're able to actually bring in and make the deal more sticky as well.
Having this more agnostic consultancy selling, it's a good entry point for the customers as well, and because they know that they are buying the right technology. Okay, that they have not been pushed to buy this technology, but it's the technology they really need. So because we can assess always, and I'm sure we will be more not to say honest, but we'll have another point of view when selling the technology.
Yeah, I think the point of view would be good. Maybe more honest. What do you think, Mark? You've heard Michael's joking.
Eric, just geographically, where would your client base be, your customer base?
Yeah, the Spanish market overall. So maybe we're working in big cities like Madrid, Valencia, and Barcelona. But yes, we can work anywhere in Spain.
That's what I was thinking. It's such a good business in that way that there's no boundaries geographically. Maybe language will come into it, obviously, but you can hire people with different languages. So is it pretty much anywhere Spanish speaking or English speaking that you could kind of look at right now? There's nothing stopping you.
No, that's all. What do you mean selling outside Spain? You mean?
Could you sell outside Spain?
fact, we are capable of for our partnership that we can sell on EMEA. But obviously, we are focusing on the Spanish market and trying to learn from it. I think it's the market that we know better.
Mm.
If we try to approach the French market, we sure need to hire a French person,
Yeah.
And so yeah, we'll start focusing on Spain, and then we'll see.
Hey, Mark, it's interesting because I think people are sleeping on the Spanish market. There's so much opportunity there. We, as a organization, we do really well in Spain.
How big is it? How many people
in Spain?
Mm.
In Spain?
Yeah.
What do you mean about the sales reps?
No,
population.
Sorry?
What's the population of Spain?
And the population?
Yeah.
I think it's 46, 48 million.
Okay, so 10x what Ireland is. Sometimes I feel like a hillbilly, Mark, when I talk to people with like huge populations like that. We're like barely a city,
Like you could with Ireland, with recruitment. What I do, you could say I could ask the same question to myself. What's stopping me from recruiting worldwide? It's the same. There's no boundaries really, but it is the culture. We know what Irish people, how they like to be approached, what they're looking for, all that kind of stuff. So if we start looking outside that, it just gets more difficult. It gets tricky, and you're spreading yourself too thinly. But the Irish market is like 90% of what I do is probably Dublin, and that's only one county out of I was going to say 32 counties, but yeah, technically we do Northern Ireland as well. Luke's got the proclamation behind him on the wall. But in Spain, like I assume there's all different types of cultures within Spain, but it's such a big market compared to Ireland.
It's different. I was going to ask you if you were selling to North Ireland or to England. It was really different,
Northern Ireland not that much different really culturally, not really, like broadly termed. The UK isn't that much different either, to be honest.
Okay. So for us, there's not much difference. We know that southern Spain like to play more the game of discounts and make the sales process really long, And in the northern part of Spain, they don't like to waste their time, They're more direct selling, it's more direct. And we know that from the beginning. So when starting a conversation, it's a different approach. And for us, it's also different expectations. Well,
that's interesting how there would be such difference. And Mark, this is something that Eric told me when I first met him as well. I don't know if you remember this, Eric, but you kept on saying that Barcelona was in the north. To me, that doesn't make any sense because it's on the Mediterranean. But I wouldn't count. I don't know. Would you count that as yeah? Is that north?
I would say. We are 100. I think it's 160 or 70 kilometers from France.
Okay, yeah, pretty north, I guess. I just I don't know. In my mind, it's hard for me to put that together. So like doing business, I would here's something interesting. I wish Irish companies would think about doing business abroad a little bit more as well. I know with we get kind of overshadowed, Eric, by our neighbors over there in England. So whenever we start a business, the only thing that we think about is we've got 60 million people beside us that are speak English, so we can just do that. I would doubt that there's a lot of Irish companies hiring Spanish speakers to sell into that market. Do you know? I don't know if that's true, but it's just something that I think about. We've got about 10 minutes left. I know you've got a hard stop here at 6 o'clock, or 6 o'clock our time. Me and Mark, we have this kind of, we have a bit of a tradition on the SharkPod where we do kind of a rapid fire lightning round, if you will. So I would like to run you through that as well, some rapid fire questions, and see if we what comes out of that. They don't have to be rapid answer, right? So keep that in mind. All right.
Okay. So what's your favorite social media and why?
TikTok. Yeah, it is. Because
Oracle's gonna buy them.
It's so entertaining. Yeah, and I find people I don't know. So yeah, I don't post I don't post. I just watch, and yeah, it's really entertaining.
What is TikTok? Is it just funny videos?
No, no, no. In fact, that's what people think. But for example, I'm following all kind of accounts like Gary Vaynerchuk. You know him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Sure.
following. He's posting like 10 times a day. And with this guy, and I follow like accounts that post comments from famous entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, the guy from Tesla. I don't remember his name. Yeah, and I try to because at the very beginning you only see people dancing, and when you start scrolling through content, you try to sort what is more productive to you, because otherwise just a waste of time.
Hey, Mark, do you know
Yeah.
Gavin J. Gallagher? Have you listened to his podcast?
No. Who's that?
I gotta listen to his podcast. It's called Behind the Facade. So we're gonna. That's my mission now, to get him on the podcast as well. So Eric, this guy, he's a property developer here in
Oh,
Ireland.
sorry, I did. You sent
Yeah.
me that. I listened to one. Yeah.
So he was like, during the property boom here, he was like, crazy successful. Then there was a big dip, and everyone going bankrupt and that type of stuff. But he made a comeback. But he uses TikTok to generate like podcast downloads and stuff like that, and then put out content out. And when I heard that, I was like, the SharkPod has no presence out there, Mark. We got to work on that. You're the
Yes,
social media guy.
totally random, and you can go viral.
I'll get my daughters on that now. Later on.
Yeah. They'll figure
They're
out.
on it. They're on it themselves, but hopefully nobody's watching what they're putting up. So, what's the best business idea you've never acted upon, Eric?
Not sure about this. But I mean that I had the
That you think is still a good idea, but you just haven't done it or never acted upon it.
everything that has to do with recycling. This what you say about circular economy. That yeah, I think it still has a lot of potential, but yeah, a lot of people are on the business, but I think there's a lot of potential still.
Okay, very good.
Mark, this is something I thought about just today. I put out my bins earlier on. I'm trying to be a conscientious guy. Putting out the green bin with the recyclables and that type of stuff. But they don't take glass anymore. So is there a business where we can go collect glass for free and use that for something? Is that worth anything? Or is that just...
Yeah, I see a lot of guilty looking people going to bottle banks. We have these bottle bank thing, and you put them in, you put the bottles in, and
bottles of wine, bottles of beer, and stuff like that. So
yeah, and during the lockdown, there's a lot of people collecting empty wine bottles.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, okay. What's next?
Okay. If you could do business anywhere in the world, where would it be?
So I thought about it a lot, and I will stay in Spain or go into Italy, because it's a really similar culture, weather. I like the place. I like to be there south.
Very good. What, just out of interest, what about South America, the Spanish-speaking countries there?
Yeah, the thing with South America is in the security. There's no middle class there, and you cannot be like in the middle really. And it's not secure for if you have children and everything. So it's not the same. You have to go to specific schools to live in specific places. I mean, it's not like here, like you can really live anywhere, walk in the street without any worries,
Yeah, you're selling Barcelona to us here, Mark. What's the last? What do you think?
Okay. How much money is enough money?
How much money? That's a tough one. I don't think we can give a figure on that, but I mean, when you have kids, you realize you don't want. I mean, not to be rich and have a nice car. The important thing is that your kids can do what they want, and having the necessary money for them to study what they want and do what they want for a living. Yeah, that's my goal. in terms of money.
It's funny because we've had all different types of answers. Most of the answers are like that as well. It's all just like just enough so everyone's happy in your family and stuff like that. And then we've had really specific numbers. I remember Oliver Colliander, I think it was 12 million exactly. So we kind of vary. So I'd take 12 million anyway. What do you think, Mark?
Absolutely. Okay, two more quick ones, right? Is it who you know or is it what you know?
I think it's who you know.
I like it.
Okay, what makes you think that?
You want me to elaborate?
Yeah.
Slightly, if you want. Yeah.
I think the most important is the relationships, not what they are, what they know about. It's more about the relationship, and I mean that you have with the people, even if they are not like you.
Yeah, I think you have to know enough. It'd be fair to say you have to know enough, but you can really kind of nail down like business or whatever it is by getting on with people, by being good socially interacting. Okay, last one. If you could advise someone to learn one skill, what would it be?
I would say gratitude, for example. We normally we are not thankful enough for what we have and everything, and that's not easy as well, because we wake up in the morning and we have what we have, and we are not really aware of the people that are struggling a lot to live their lives, I think we should be more trained on gratitude and values.
I like that idea. I've never heard about that as like a skill. I never really thought about it like that, but I guess it is. It's something you practice. Like
Matthew McConaughey says that in one of his speeches. I think it's his Oscar acceptance speech, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll have to break that one down. We're big fans of Matthew McConaughey, Eric. It's a long story, but we'd like to thank you very much for being involved in the SharkPod today. One more question for you. Do you want a T-shirt or do you want a mug?
T-shirt, for sure.
T-shirt, perfect. We'll get that out to you. Don't worry, international shipping, we will take care of that, no problem. Mark, thanks very much. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you very much indeed. Bye.
Perfect.